भीष्टं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं श्रीरूपं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रहे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामीनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृतं तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं वृन्दारण्यं चैतन्यमीश्वरं परमानन्दमाधवम् ॐ अपवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थां गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं साध्याभ्यन्तरं शुचे श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु। Okay, let me share my screen.
Huh?
Praveen Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandat Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I'm just, I think there is some issue from my system in sharing the, what do you say, file. So I'm just sharing it to you. If you can present it, that would be better.
What issue, Prabhuji? What happened? Why you can't share?
No. I think it's not your issue, Prabhu. It's my issue only. So yeah, I just shared Prabhu from Shanti's account. Can you bring it on screen, please? Okay, while Praveen Prabhu presents that on screen, so I would like to start the session with a small story. The story is about a villager who stays in a village and he's happy spending time there with his parents. And parents have provided all the necessary things to him. He's happy there. Early morning, going to a lake, swimming, coming back, and bringing tree leaves, or we call in Telugu chinta chiguru, that is the tamarind leaves, very early stage of tamarind leaf to prepare dal and all, and having a good time with friends. And he was having spending his life happily in village. And one day a person comes to the village on his car with a wonderful, wonderful dress, goggles, hairstyle, etc., etc. And then by seeing him, he gets a desire. He gets a desire that what a life he's having. He's having a wonderful car, wonderful hairstyle. What a stylish look he has, and all. He gets a desire or lust to have all these things, and he requests his dad, and he has an impression that a person from city generally behaves like that, or is like that, or looks stylish, and he gets attracted, and he requests his dad not to, he requests his dad to allow him to go to city and spend his time there. But despite his dad saying, no, it's not good to go, better to stay here, and anyhow you're happy here, why to go there, and all. But still he forces his dad to go to city. So upon multiple sittings, iterations, reiterations, he convinces his dad, and his dad allows him to go to go to city. So in the city, he has to stay there, and after though his body, for all his life, his body is tuned to the village environment, and going to city is a big step, and it's very difficult for him to cope up in the city environment. So somehow he tries to imbibe the city qualities, city culture. And after going to city life, he sees a lot of people, opposite sex, and gets attracted, and he gets into a job, works like a donkey, and earns money. All this he imbibes additional new qualities to survive in city. So here what we have seen is, after coming to city, he has to tune himself as per the city laws and cultures. And due to lust, and after seeing the city life, he gets greedy and gets into a job, and works day and night. And after seeing his fellow beings, he has a gets envious of seeing the people that they are earning more. They're earning more, so he does a lot of work, and in fact, a lot of work like a donkey, and he earns more. And after he earns more, he sends money back to his village, and he gets proud about himself. He gets proud about himself, saying that, yeah, I'm sending money, see how great I am. And he takes pleasure in seeing that he's earning money and sending money to his village. He takes pride in that. So, and all the life, where to whatever the long time he has been staying in city, he will be in an illusion that he is making the village parents happy by sending money. But it's not the one. So all the things we have covered, like and while he was envious about by seeing his fellow beings, he becomes angry also. He becomes angry, and with that angry and inspiration, he starts working hard more and earns more. And that's how he lives his life. He lives his life, and with that anger, he gets a lot of anger issues, health issues, and all. So so in a single story, we have almost covered all the 6 anarthas here. So these are the 6 anarthas. What about, about which we are going to talk today? That is lust, greed, anger, illusion, envious, and pride. So all these anarthas we have seen in a single example. So now we are going to see how each anartha.
Sorry, Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. Prabhuji, I made you a co-host. Can you try now, just to make sure, because you will have full control.
Oh, okay. 1 minute, Prabhu.
I'll stop sharing, but you can just try.
I'm just getting an impression, Prabhu. It's not your problem, but it is my problem.
But just try, Prabhuji. You're a co-host now. Maybe.
Yeah. Because it's an issue from my end only, Prabhu. Because there is some issue which I need to check about within my laptop. It's not your issue, Prabhu. I've seen that. I think last time I should get rectified, but I didn't do that. So it is a issue from my system only, Prabhu.
So it's not helping now.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu, it's not helping. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Prabhu.
No. But I just want to check. That's all.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. So that's what is about the 6 anarthas about which we are going to talk today. And first one is lust. Lust is the. You can go to the next slide, Prabhu. First one is the lust, and in fact, this lust is the one which most of the times, what we see is lust only. Most of the times it is lust only, and it is very nicely covered or packaged like a birthday or marriage gift, and it's like a status symbol sometimes. When the same thing is mentioned even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, what you are seeing on the screen is Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bali Kama Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nama. So that means the desire to gratify one's own senses is Kama, but the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prema. So I don't want to dig much about prema. That's almost a next stage once we try to conquer all these 6 anarthas. So I am going to more concentrate towards the lust. So in this material world, each and every one of us here, in this material world, each one of us have different relationships, like a mother, husband, father, son. Like that, there are a boss or colleague. A lot of relations we see in our materialistic world, which are not actually comes under love. It is a combination of. It is always combined with a tinge of selfishness in it. When either you take love marriage or marriage and all, when most of the times, they might cover saying it's ours is a true love or kind of words, but it is not actually a love. There would be a little bit of selfishness, probably. A good looking girl, and we might cover it like that. I really love her. And similarly, and there are so many professions like, police department, you can say, where, people might take, it's not only police department, any department in our society, they might take bribe, and they might convince themselves, that whatever the job I am doing, it is perfectly all right, and it is, whatever the money, I'm not, squeezing money from the poor, and I'm only taking money only after rich people gives money, which is as per Shastra, which it is wrong. So for each and every act of us, we are alive, we are in a material world. For every act, we need a convincing answer for ourselves to say that whatever we are doing, it is genuine. But in general populace, they are never worried about referring to Shastras, what Shastras are saying. At least they are not even trying to know what Shastras are saying. So we need to understand that whatever the love, or basically what are the relationships which are there in material world, are mixed with some tinge of selfishness. And whether it is the studies or college, where even the college studies, what we see, we in turn go to schools or colleges only with a motive of some result in the end of getting a job or getting a salary or a very fat paycheck. That we need to understand. So when everything is backed up with some kind of result, some kind of desire, that is lust. So when everything, and the main reason, that is the main reason, one of the main reasons why we are here. And some people might ask, Prabhuji, why the lust itself, that quality itself is there in us? That quality itself, it should not be there, right? But the real thing is lust. This is something, it's the nature, that loving nature is already there within us, the character of happiness. As a soul, always soul seeks happiness, and we are coming from a spiritual world. We have been in spiritual world, and there everything, it is happy. We are loving Krishna, and we are happy there. So the basic character of happiness is there. The source from where we are coming, it is filled up with love and happiness. And when we say material world is a perverted version of the spiritual world, so we need to tagline this. Okay, when I say a perverted fashion, when everything gets reflected in a perverted fashion, we need to tagline. When we talk about perverted fashion, it is we need to understand that word perverted fashion properly. So attachments, whatever we have towards Krishna in a selfless manner in our spiritual world, is called love. And the same thing, when it gets reflected, is called perverted fashion, is called lust. And we can bifurcate at a later stage what lust is and all, but we need to understand that quality as such, we can't remove it from an individual person. Lust, that love is there in spiritual world. The same thing, when it is converted, when we are coming into material world, it is called lust. And that lust, that is very difficult to completely negate it. It's very, very difficult, because basically it is very difficult to stop loving Krishna. It is very difficult to stop loving Krishna, because our origination has been from that point. It is something like a girl who has spent her lifetime with his parents. It's always a loving relation, everything with complete comfort or ease. She stays in home, in his parents' home. But when she goes to a maternal or in-laws home, always there is a sense of thing, and there's a little bit of care, with little care she has to stay there. And basically we need to understand that it's very difficult to overcome that quality, and that's a perverted reflection, what we say. So it is we need to understand that. And this lust can be taken into different routes. And it is something like any form, you can say. When you're seeing someone, you might get a desire, like you see a car, oh, what a wonderful car he has, I should have one. So that's a desire. Similarly, like that, we can quote, when we introspect properly, that quality as such will there might not be any person who is not having this, but how to negate it or how to channelize it is the thing what we need to work on. So there are two things again from lust. There are two things which can occur when we have, when we say when anything is satisfied, whatever the desire, when whatever the desire we have, when it is satisfied, it takes the root of greed. And as the Pepsi ad says, ye dil mange more. Whenever we see something, we need something more. And if you introspect our lives, you can see innumerable examples where we get something, we might be needing it more. And in my personal life, I have seen so many examples, and I'm sure every one of us here might have seen so many examples like that. When something is satisfied, when some desire is fulfilled, we want more. We want more. Okay, I can quote an example where when we first occupied this Green Race apartment, and till the construction was going on, only myself and Shanti, we used to come and see the construction stuff. How is it going? If the carpenter work is going on and all, everything was fine or not, we used to come and check. But after complete construction was over, interior designing was done and all, then I brought my daughter Bhavika in 2013 for the first time after the complete construction was over. Then she was excited, very, very excited. Daddy, wonderful, Daddy. What a house it is. What a view we have. Wonderful, Daddy. What a nice flat. I never imagined that we will be staying in this kind of house and all. She was very much excited. Till that time, we used to stay in a rented house. But after almost a decade, by next year, I'll be spending almost a decade time now, staying in this house. So now if I ask Bhavika, she says that in that apartment that is fine, that particular villa is fine, that would have been better and all. So even basically the point what I'm trying to say here, Prabhuji and Mataji, the thing is the greed aspect. Whenever it is fulfilled, that greed seeks more. That's the point. And there is another, if the and if it is the same lust, if the same desire, if it is not satisfied, it takes the root of anger. Takes the root of anger. Sometimes restlessness. There are so many people, where they desire a lot, but they are not in a situation to hard work, do hard work or do kind of work to achieve that, and they can't achieve that, and they get angry, they get restless. Sometimes they even go to depression also. I've seen such cases, Prabhuji and Mataji. And so this is two routes what we take. No, Prabhu, it's not at over. Go there only. Okay, so greed and anger. So all these three emotions, whatever we talked about, lust, anger, and greed. Lust, anger, and greed, all these three emotions, the root cause is lust only. So kamesha, krodesha, rajogana, samudbhava. So that I think this quote comes under in Bhagavad Gita. So we need to understand. So these are, basically for hell, all the three gates of hell, what we say are these three only. So root cause is desire. And again, again we can bifurcate this lust into two different kinds. Desire to gratify one's own senses. I already given enough examples. Now, another in a general parlance, Prabhuji, we generally say that opposite sex, attraction towards opposite sex. I know it's a very sensitive topic, and I was hesitating to tell this topic, but when I go to my hometown, when people say me, they bring topics, of course, with a concern towards me. Even the sannyasis, brahmacharis, they have a very negative impression about sannyasis and brahmacharis, and we need to understand. General notion what people have is, God has given a wonderful body to them, and a beautiful woman outside. They could have a sex life and beget children and expand their family and be happy in this world. Why they are unnecessarily going into this brahmachari ashram and all? That's a general general trend what we see across people, and why unnecessarily they go to forest and follow the renounced order and go it in a self-denial mode. That's the general notion what we have. And if we say take the opposite side, then we know Charvaka philosophy, what we say, Charvak philosophy, like Rinam Kritva Griham Pibet, Yavam Jivet Sukham Jivet. So that philosophy is a completely opposite philosophy of Brahmacharya, where you eat, drink, marry, be happy. I think even by first time when I heard it in SSR, even by stealing or taking loan, I should always eat ghee. I think that's the meaning of that statement. So that's a very wrong notion what we have, and they also don't know about life of brahmachari and not life of brahmachari, and they are an impression that it's a life of suppressing their feelings. But we need to understand, if you try to suppress, it will attack a person again and again in the form of, there are a lot of forms it might take, when you try to suppress the things or suppress the feelings, it might be like, wet dreams or instability or restlessness in people, and generally from teenage onwards, that depends on the kind of environment we are in, especially in a city culture, and the kind of technology we have around. Praveen Prabhu, just to remind me at around 8:15, Prabhu, please. I'm sorry, Prabhu. Okay, so we need to understand with the technology and environment around, it is very difficult for general people in the modern society. So all this feeling suppression and all, it is a general notion what we have. But again, with a material determination, simply with a material determination, it's very difficult to control. They might control in the initial stages, but that life, to some degree only they can control, but at one or the other stage it might occur, it might face, you might put into a situation where it is very difficult. So that is with the material senses, it is very difficult to control. So the greatness of brahmacharis is that only when semen is released, semen, again here I put two things here, dhirya retas and urdhva retas, which is about, when semen is, dhirya retas means semen is going towards downwards, and urdhva retas means semen is going towards upwards. So when we are not engaging in that act, the semen flows upwards, and it gives a there is a possibility, or it gives a additional thinking or additional power to understand the spiritual aspects more. Urdhva is the philosophy or a process wherein we are saving semen within our body, and that semen, accumulated semen, when it goes upwards, it increases our understanding. It gives a capability to understand thinking or understand the spiritual topics better. We might be thinking that lot of senior devotees, how they manage the time well, how they might be doing multiple actions with a less time, the same time we have and same time they have. We might be amazed by seeing them, that how can they manage all these things. But we might the thinking what we might be having, only materially we might be thinking. But this is also one of the factors. This is one of the very important factors, I will say. Wherein, when this is saved within our body, and when it urdhva retas, when it go upwards, and even there is a trend, when you will be reaching a stage where on the head it reaches and forms a bulk kind of thing, and it really enables those devotees to think and have a proper and it elevates, or it even stresses to elevate our spiritual consciousness. That is even provided in Shastras also, Prabhu, and Arogya Shastras like Ayurveda and all. So saving semen is a very important activity. And with the kind of environment we have, even I have seen this kind of exposure generally in our generation we used to get in colleges and all, but now in the current generation we are seeing these kind of things or topics discussed even in the schools also. I mean, not publicly, but some kids do have that kind of doubts as well, from ranging from 7th class itself. They ask some questions, so we need to be open about it, at least with our kids or kind of environment. So we need to make them understand the importance of the brahmacharya. And there are a lot of things like that. But now coming to the practical aspects of the same part, lust, if a brahmachari is there, if a brahmachari is already there, then to curb, if he's having that kind of feelings and he's not able to curb and he's not able to concentrate, so better option is for him to move into grihastha ashram. And there are so many brahmacharis like that. When I have seen personally, I have seen in Stockholm, like Jayesh, His Grace Jayesh Prabhu, who was there in Stockholm. He's a brahmachari, by the way, with a saffron clothes. And again, there was another Prabhu also. When they later, and the Mataji, Elsa Mataji was there. So they got into, just 1 year back, they got into a grihastha ashram. So there is nothing wrong about it. Okay, generally people, they having an impression that a person who was who was following a brahmachari order, he got into a grihastha ashram. It is not something wrong. Okay, it's not something wrong. But the same thing when saying he's that having the lust when which doesn't break. In fact, Krishna himself says that he is that lust. He is that lust which who doesn't break religious principles. So it is actually getting into grihastha ashram is a worldly accepted phenomena. There's nothing wrong about it. Okay, so we need to understand that, and who is aiming to become a brahmachari. And one first case what I mentioned was about Brahma, who is already existing brahmachari and who is not able to control his senses or having a feelings. Then for him it's better to get into a grihastha ashram and continue his life. And similarly, a person or a devotee who's planning to move into a brahmachari ashram, he needs to, having a conviction towards brahmachari ashram, then he has to have a good association of senior devotees and have need to spend time with the spiritual master, and he has to engage all his time in Krishna conscious activities only. All his time Krishna consciousness activities only. When our live example, there is no need to search for outside for us. We can see Radhesham Prabhuji himself. We have personally, when we have met him in one of the youth centers in Narsingi. He has finished the session and he had very little prasadam and went immediately to sleep. And again, he has to wake up at around 12 a.m. or so for giving sessions to US. And also, he never wastes his time. And already, I think Lilananda Prabhu has given enough references about the comment what he talked about. Please take some rest. So I think in our life next time, we will never use a word take rest with the devotees like Radhesham Prabhuji. So we need to understand that if you are having a plans of going to brahmachari ashram, then we need to push ourselves to be 100% in Krishna consciousness by being in association of the senior devotees. So that's one aspect, suppressing thing. And how to control, already for how to control this lusty desires, also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, if I'm not wrong. He says about that Daivi hi shagunamai mama maya duratyaya mama eva prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the 3 modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. It is very difficult to overcome. And believe me, Prabhujis and Matajis, we can't say this to non-devotees, but it is difficult. It's impossible. And for devotees, also it is very difficult. It is very, very difficult. But those who surrender unto me can easily cross. And when I say surrendered, surrender has a lot of meaning to it. Surrender, it's having a lot of weight, though it might be surrender, looking like a single word surrender, but that surrender, level of surrender is very important. Very, very important. Without having a complete surrender, we can't cross this, Prabhujis and Matajis. So that's about lust. And as a I'm going to discuss about anger. Can you go to the next slide? So I'm going to discuss about the second phenomena, where if lust or desire is not fulfilled, the lust or desire, if it is not fulfilled, then we get into this mode of anger or restlessness. So suppressing anger leads to many diseases also. It's already proven. And there's no need of a special examples here. And there are a lot of examples in the past and even in the current society. There is a separate, the branch itself in hospitals where they are tackling anger or stress management related departments are coming up or growing up in a lot of hospitals as well. So suppressing anger leads to so many diseases. So it is something like a calm lake with we are able to see the fishes in the lake. And when you throw a pebble, it creates ripples, and we will not be able to see the fishes under the water. So it is something like that only. So pebbles are circumstances. Pebbles are like circumstances in our lives. When we throw, it creates ripples of agitation. As soon as there are ripples, you don't see things as they are. Seriously, we don't see things as they are when we are in anger. Surely, when we are in anger, we can't see things in balance. And there are a lot of instances where, after that angry person, if you take a person who is completely angry, and when he becomes calm, then he might realize. So when we need to understand, when you will be able to see fish only when the ripples are stopped. So that we need to understand that anger, that is the only way. And the practical suggestions, whenever, so as I said, when we are angry, the only thing what we can stop, or how we can stop that anger is, any idea, Prabhuji and Matajis, how we can stop our anger, or how to control our anger in any provocative situations like that? Any idea?
Pause and think, sir.
Prabhuji, Mataji?
Pause and think first.
Pause
and think first.
Pause and think, yes. Pause and think, that's right. So it is the same thing. When the ripples are there in water, we need to wait it until it calms down. So we have to stay calm. You have to find ourselves. I mean, whenever we are find ourselves agitated, then best thing is to stay calm only. Best thing is to stay calm and think about it. You can follow numerous processes, like someone says count till 1 to 10. Someone says get out from that place. And someone says be calm. So better to be calm. And after you are becoming calm, who knows, the situation might be saying that the fault might be your end only. So we don't know about that. So better staying calm is one thing. And and especially in devotion, we have to be very thoughtful. We have to be very thoughtful, such that we are not hurting with our piercing words, even unknowingly also. Especially in devotion, anger is, we need to be very careful, Prabhujis and Matajis. I think there are numerous examples like that in our history, where unknowingly also, I mean, no need to say about that. I mean, there was, I think it was Sanatan Goswami or Rupa Goswami, I think. Already that example also everyone knows here. He was thinking about something and unknowingly he smiles. So unknowingly also we should not be angry on ourselves, and it causes more. In fact, it causes more destruction to the person who become angry than the person whom you are towards whom you are angry on. So we need to understand that, and that is a very important point. And as I said, anger is a brother of lust. So anger is a brother of lust. So that's what we say. And anger is one letter short of danger. And that is very much true. It is like a fireball. When you throw fireball at yourself, at others, first it will be burning your hand. Then only it might burn others. So we need to understand that. So can devotees become angry if needed? Yes or no, Prabhuji and Matajis? Can devotees become angry if
To
needed?
improve our Krishna consciousness, definitely we can have anger, Prabhu.
Hmm.
So that anger generally, most of the times it comes from lust.
Yes, that's right, Prabhu. That's right. So when Hanuman also was angry. Hanuman was also angry. But with his anger, lot of people got saved. And Ravana was also angry.
Hare Krishna
Ravana was
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, devotees can be angry when they see blaspheming other devotees or to protect.
yes, right, Prabhu. Right, Prabhu. Then that is very much true, Prabhu. When we are blaspheming the senior devotees or spiritual master or Krishna, even Prabhuji, I have from some from senior devotees lectures also I have heard, rather than becoming angry on even in that cases also, better not to pay attention is one suggestions what they have given. And second is diplomatically try to deal with them even in such circumstances where they are blaspheming senior devotees, when especially non-devotees, they are blaspheming senior devotees or spiritual master or Krishna. Better to ignore them or better to diplomatically deal with them rather than becoming angry is one such statement what I have heard from our senior devotees, Prabhu. And yes, and that is one case where it is a eligibility for us to become angry, Prabhu. You are right. Okay. Now in anger, Hanuman has saved so many people, but Ravana was also having the same character of angry, but his anger has exploited people. His anger has completely exploited people. So we need to understand whenever this anger is there, it's better to deal properly. And we can some people can say like Hanuman also has become angry. So what is wrong with us for us to become angry? There's nothing wrong. That's a statement what generally some initial phase devotees quote. Hanuman also has become angry. So what is wrong in us to become angry? But Hanuman has become angry, but along with that anger, he was even empowered. He was able to, pass with a single jump, he got into Lanka and he could lift the mountain. So he was empowered as well. So we can't compare ourselves with Hanuman. So we need to understand that we are sadhakas and we have to follow our shastras on how to deal with anger whenever the situations come. So we need to be careful and try to stay calm and unknowingly also try not to hurt other devotees, other people. And but it is not that easy statement as I quoted Prabhujis and Matajis, especially in our professional space. I got in touch with one of the senior devotees who was a Wipro relationship manager. He was initiated devotee from Jayapatak Swami Maharaj. He also gets angry at his colleagues or at his subordinates in work. When he becomes angry, but when I ask his question, he says that Prabhuji, I get angry, but not with a revengeful mode. If the things are not done, I become angry. I shouted them, but I don't have any revengeful mode against them. So that to build that consciousness, it's not that easy, Prabhujis and Matajis. Only with sadhana and only with Guru's mercy, association of devotees, it is possible, Prabhujis and Matajis. It's not that easy as I quote that we should stay calm in angry situations and all. But we need to develop that consciousness that anger is not eating us within inside. That we need to understand, Prabhuji. Okay, so that is about anger. Next, Prabhu. Next is greed. Greed, as we said, negative. There is a difference between having enthusiasm to earn and greed. Enthusiasm to earn and greed. Greed is the, again, as I said, greed is something like another brother of lust, wherein when desire is fulfilled, you want more. You want more. That is greed. That is greed. So there is a difference between enthusiasm to earn and greed. You can say negative concept of greed is when for our own selfish purposes, we are willing to exploit others, and even cause harm to others for my benefit, for my things. You are ready to even harm others or exploit others for your own benefit. That is a negative concept of greed. But enthusiasm to earn is or to actually earn is with integrity, with actually spend with others, or to spend with compassion. Whatever you are earning, and you are earning that with integrity, and spending that with compassion, that is not greed. You can say that is a positive concept of greed. So you can actually spend with compassion. When people especially whatever the jobs we are doing, there are some people who might be getting additional income also through improper sources. That is not actually that is greed only. Especially the gambling, the people who does gambling, that is greed only. There are some people whom I know where more than salaries they used to earn more through gambling or through other shares and all this stuff. It is not called as a earning with integrity. You can't call it as earning with integrity. So we need to understand there is a subtle difference between enthusiasm to earn and greed. So now if we compare the Mahabharata war also between Arjuna and Duryodhana, I mean, this greed, both were having the same kind. They both were almost taking the same kinds of decision. Both were having the same kinds of weapons, clubs, bows, and arrows, and how to engage the militaries in the war. Both are having their own strategies, and they were extremely intensely committed to win. So for winning, there was the ultimate goal was to win. Both of them were having that intensity or greed to win. But one was having, the Duryodhana was willing to exterminate people for his own selfishness, for his own greed, want. And what for? Want, power, wealth, enjoyment, and especially for being in the power. Power is an obsession, wanted to win and stay in power and keep exploiting people. And if you observe, it's not only Duryodhana, Prabhujis and Madajis, that is the tendency of most of the Kali Yuga people also. And as we go in Kali Yuga, it is going to be more and more, without any iota of doubt. That is one kind of mattu, mattu vadaladu. When especially of late, I have been meeting a couple of politicians. The thing is, they are whether they are in power or not, that being within the people, being amongst the people. One retired MP asked me, okay, you are doing satsangs in your community. How many people would be there? How many people would be coming? Will there be more than 500? Will there be more than 1,000? And there also, they are thinking about trying to be in power, trying to be the cynosure of the community and all. There's no real sense of seva there. But when we see Yudhishthira or Arjuna, they also wanted to win the war, but only to serve the Lord, and wanted to win, uplift the humanity. I mean, you'll finding a lot of non-devotees, Prabhujis and Matajis, they are not willing to give credit to the God at all. If something good happens, when we say Krishna did, okay, Krishna, okay. No, but you did hard work. No, it is your hard work. But without Krishna, will that hard work come? Without Guru's mercy or Krishna's mercy, you will be getting it. That intelligence who is given? Krishna has given, right? But they are not ready to accept that. So we need to understand, Prabhuji, and others, seva, even if you forget, I mean, when you do seva, even if you forget the senses also, senses needs also sometimes. I don't know. I mean, most of you might have experienced it also. If someone is doing Nirjala Ekadasi or fasting for the whole day, next day we need to ideally break the fast. But when we are engaged in service, like serving others and all, we completely forget. So that is a part, that is a greatness of Krishna. I mean, that he is giving that opportunity for us. So always this greed should be there to serve the Lord and uplift the humanity, or see in whatever we can be part of the mega plan of the Lord. We need to see excuses or opportunities to somehow become the plan of Krishna, in the plan of Krishna. So that greed and compassion are two different things. So that's what about greed. Now, coming to next one is illusion. If you see, if you go to the next slide, it is pride, I think. Yeah, go to next slide, bro. Yeah. So in the pride, this pride is about lording over mentality over others. Lording over mentality over others. So that mentality, with that mentality only, almost we have come here. So we need to understand. So humility is basically a symptom. When we are very if a person is having a humility, the vision is very clear. The vision is very, very clear. So if we can take, there are again ample examples are there in the history. If we see Indra, because in Bhagavatam and all, there are a lot of examples from Indra himself. Despite he having 1,000 eyes, Indra is having 1,000 eyes. Despite having 1,000 eyes, he could not bear that Vrajavasis were praising or praying Krishna and not giving importance to him. He could not bear that. So always, before every entity's fall, this pride is the important item which comes before us. And the symptom is person wants to talk and vision becomes weak. Sometimes, we see a lot of functions, lot of Mataji? Balamani Mataji, you are having any question? Okay. So the symptom of a person, is like he wants to talk more. He wanted to be a center of attraction among all. I mean, sometimes I have seen a person for whose mother's, his mother passed away. His mother passed away, and after 13 days, function would be there. In the 13 days function, they do Pinda Pradhan, and they will wait for a crowd to eat that Pinda and all. And after coming from Pinda, he is giving drinks to other people, just to think that how great he is. So like this, a lot of examples are there, Prabhuji and Mataji. So a person in pride is highly, in fact, a person in pride is highly dependent on others. Is highly dependent on others. Without depending on Lord, he is more dependent on all the others. And when other people won't acknowledge his greatness, there is even a possibility that that person might go into depression also. Can you believe it, Prabhuji and Mataji? There are instances where a person in power is not getting a necessary attention, or people are not acknowledging his greatness. People can get into depression also. Can you believe it?
Yes, sir.
Or not?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So with pride, success is a failure, and with humility, apparent failure is also a success. With humility, apparent failure is also success, because even after that humility, due to that humility, even with a failure, he will, with more rigor, he will try to correct that failure and move forward. And in success, he will not boast about himself. That's why it is called, with humility, apparent failure is also success. And even I think it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita only. Dambo darpo bhimanascha krodha parusham evacha ajnanam chabi chatasya pardha sampadam ashurim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. All this pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance is somehow more related to pride. I believe me, Prabhuji, I have seen some people very closely who got into depression when his greatness is not acknowledged. And when and as I mentioned in that last dialogue, Samiranga, Krishna only knows how to crush that pride to powder. He and especially in devotion, because the people who are not in devotion, the people who are not in devotion, there is nothing much to worry, because they wanted to be in that Maya only. There is nothing much to discuss there. But the person or a devotee who is struggling in devotion and who is trying to be stable in spiritual journey, and who is trying to come near to Krishna will purify him like anything. When I say like anything, Prabhuji and Mataji, believe me, literally like anything. Wherever, I mean, as the Lilananda Prabhu says, wherever pain is, he gives pain there only. He will put a screwdriver there and, calicify there. So we have to be very careful, Prabhuji and Mataji. And again, I too personally, and even that purification he gives from our closest ones, because he loves us. We are trying to come closer to him, especially devotees. Krishna only gives purification through our own devotees, or our own close ones, through our parents, uncles, or relatives only, not from outsiders, especially for devotees. So we need to understand that this pride is such a very dangerous thing to have. And sometimes, pride, even there is even a possibility that sometimes some devotees, I think I might get pride if I do that act. Even some senior devotees mentioned that even getting a thinking that I might get pride by doing that thing is also a pride. Very subtle difference, Prabhuji and Mataji. Having pride, literally exhibiting the pride, and not doing some act in fear of getting pride is also a pride. That is wrong. Suppressing pride, suppressing to do act is wrong, in fear of getting pride. Thinking that no one, we may become pride itself is pride. And connection with Krishna is the only hope, Prabhuji and Mataji. Connection with Krishna is the only hope. And whatever the happiness you are getting in pride, right, that is very temporary in nature. Very temporary in nature. If you, I know in a single statement or single 2 minutes is very difficult to contemplate. But when we introspect that whatever the pride we are getting, that sound is very, very nice, right? Someone says Jai, Jai and all, very nice. But off late, I don't know, I'm hearing it as like a, scolding. But we need to understand, Prabhuji and Mataji, when we are connected with Krishna, that is the ultimate thing. When we have how to curb that pride, when we are connected with Krishna, every hour of the day, when we are connected, it will ensure that the pride is taken care of. Next slide, Prabhu. Okay, next one is about envy. Okay, now envy, no need to talk about it. Envy is, if they anything if another people possess more than us is envy. And when having a good car and you have and someone more costlier, and there is a chances that you can get envious and not understanding the purpose of it. Actually, there is a possibility I have a car and another person is purchasing a what is this, Ferrari car purchases, and I might become envious. He's staying along with me in the same community and he's my neighbor and he's having a good car, spacious car, very stylish car, Ferrari, and I don't have it. I might feel envious. But we need to understand, we are not even thinking about what the purpose it has to serve. Purpose is served even with this car and that car. People generally, when people have a lot of stuff with them, they tend to this and they cover themselves with saying more comfort and all. But actually, having that kind of mentality is also wrong. If you are able to think, if you are getting these things and should know that if you are getting that thinking, that kind of thinking, you should understand that it is a subtle way the plain enviousness is introduced in you. And especially devotees that thinking. No doubt about it. Non-devotees not have that thinking that so whatever the 5 years I have been in this path, Prabhujis and Matajis, when some kind of envious without their knowledge, they introspect also, and they will think, I thought that like the enviousness is trying to creeping in me. Okay, so we need to understand that particular enviousness to know only through scriptures. We'll be knowing that consciousness to develop, that some kind of enviousness is creeping in, to know that scriptures are right sources. And our material world is designed for enviousness only. Neighbor's envy is owner's pride. What is it? Onida, I think. Onida. Neighbor's envy, owner's pride. So they are promoting to become envious and become pride by taking more and more TVs and make others envious. So that is a culture of marketing strategies of some kind of television sets. So we need to understand that. And now on the same lines, there is sometimes due to this enviousness, even we will be spoiling our own lives also. And generally, in our material tendency, when I think on one movie, more than when we fail exams, we hurt. Yes or no, Prabhujis and Madhajis? When we fail, we get hurt, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Are you sure, Mataji?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But is it not more painful when your friend gets top rank? When your own friend who's spending time with you all the day, but he's getting first rank and you are failing, that is more painful, right?
Yes.
So that is the nature of envy. So that is the enviousness what we try to imbibe in. So we need to understand the envious nature, and we need to take the shelter of shastras and devotees to curb that. And if you are having a close devotees, we need to discuss with devotees frankly that this thing is creeping in, and even I'm reading shastras that is not going, how to do that, how we can tackle it. You should take the shelter of devotees. Okay, that is envy. Now the last one is illusion. Can you go to the next slide, Prabhuji? Anyway, I think we are on target. So yeah. So illusion. So all these things, due to whatever the things we have seen in the first 5 points, and with all these acts, we might do acts and we feel that we have done something. We might have done something. The condition soul carries an attitude. Of course, that is the only nature why we are here. That is the only nature why we are here. So this attitude only keeps the souls in illusion, because they also want that. They also want that. In a way, they also want that. I mean, why Krishna only has to enjoy? Why we should not enjoy? I mean, that's what we are enjoying, right? I have taken a big bungalow. People are praising me. Oh, you are staying in 1 crore, 1.5 crore, 2 crores bungalow. Wonderful. What great, yeah. What a planning you did. You are doing a lot of hard work. But it's an illusion that general populace might not be knowing. So Maya, I mean, there is one more statement, like Maya is just not an illusion in perception, but also an illusion in conception. So when we say this is a statement, Maya is not just a illusion in perception. When I say illusion in perception, it is something like, mirage. When we say mirage, it looks like a water is there, but when we go near, it is not there. When we go, it is not there. I mean, we need to understand, Prabhuji and Matajis, why a lot of people can't understand Krishna. It is because of the influence of modes of material nature. And due to these three, only people are in illusion and can't understand God, because they also want in some way that we wanted to live in it, and we wanted to live in our fool's paradise, and we wanted to live in this illusion, because they are deriving temporary pleasures out of it. But in the same way, he is giving shocks also, but they will forget shocks. So this is the independent nature of a soul. So why only Krishna has to become controller, owner, or enjoyer? Why I should not be? That is the nature. So that's what we say. So Maya is not just, when I say Maya is just not an illusion in perception, means the thing is not there, but what you are thinking. If you are going near a marriage, water is not there, but from far away you might be seeing it like a marriage. So like that, there are a lot of statements. All that glitters is not a gold, and green is always. I mean, green is always greener when you at the other side of a field and all. And durapu kondalu nulupu in Telugu they say. So like that, all these things have come due to illusion only, illusionary effect of Krishna. Recently, I have attended a marriage when my wife's aunt's son's marriage. When they're in the marriage, before going to a marriage, there was a discussion happening. This discussion happening. What was the discussion was? They have taken a rolled gold. They have brought a rolled gold, and when they are seeing, it looks like it looks like a very pure gold. And that auntie was saying, hey, that's not a problem. Nobody will think that we are wearing a rolled gold. We are wearing a real gold only. So don't worry. But hardly that rolled gold cost was 3,000 to 4,000 only. But in actuality, that if the same kind of gold is taken, it might be in lakhs. And they were discussing, and she was saying, don't worry, auntie. Don't worry, auntie. The people will not think that we are wearing a rolled gold. We are wearing a real gold only. So that kind of a conversation we often hear in our materialistic meetings or functions, So circumstances, we need to understand circumstances might appear better with fellow beings too, but the thing is, it is a complete illusion. So we need to understand that illusion in perception is the concept wherein it is not a reality. It is not a reality. It is not there at all, but you are thinking it is there. Now coming to illusion in conception, there might be a possibility that there is something you are seeing with your eye, and it might appear. For example, opposite sex, a beautiful body is there. Then we might get attracted. But it is not a perception, right? It is not a illusion. It is not a something not existing. It is in real. It is there. But we need to understand that how we are, it's a bodily complexion. It's just a matter of beauty, is just a matter of one millimeter of skin, they say. I don't know. It is mentioned in some of the sayings. So that is we need to understand that Maya is just an illusion, not only perception, but also conception. In reality, you might see it in through your eyes in front of you, but actually it is of no use. It is of no use for, especially for your spiritual progress. So only by surrender we can come out of this illusion, Prabhujis and Matajis. And for coming out of this illusion, only by surrender to our spiritual masters, to senior devotees, only we can come out of this illusion. It might be sounding very preachy in nature, but in practicality also, it is very much applicable. It is very much applicable. I mean, a lot of quotations are there, like in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.34, it is said, Hriday te ardham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyad atmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. So what appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy, for nothing can exist without me. It is like reflection of a real light in the shadow, for in the light there are neither shadows nor reflection. Anything which is not related to Krishna is illusion. We might see in some people, say some guy by name Bala might be a very handsome person. How handsome he is. But how we can relate it? Krishna, one character of out of 64 qualities of Krishna, one character of his beauty, he has given little more in this person. How great he is. Sachin Tendulkar, what a game he plays. One character, one quality of talent has given, Krishna has given to this person. How great he is. So anything which is not related with Krishna is always illusion, which will make us to be in illusion. That we need to understand. So each and every item we can relate with Krishna, including lust. As Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, that he himself is the lust who doesn't break the religious principles. So that we need to understand. Now, Prabhujis and Matajis, a question for you. To move forward in devotion, which things among these 6 does Krishna can't tolerate or accept?
Pride.
No. Anyone else?
Envy, sir.
Anyone
Envy.
else?
Envy, yeah.
Envy?
Devotees offense, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji?
Devotees offense, Prabhuji.
Devotee offense. No, Prabhuji. Devotee's offense is a different, altogether. Out of this 6, whatever Anarthas I mentioned, out of this lust, greed, anger, illusion, pride, envy, among these 6, to move forward in devotion, which things among?
Pride, Hare Krishna, pride, Prabhuji. Pride.
Anyone else?
Pride, Prabhuji.
Suresh, you were saying something.
Pride and envy, Prabhuji.
Pride
No, I
and
want one or two. Two I will not accept, Mataji.
envy, Prabhu.
Anyone else?
Pride, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Envy.
Prasad Prabhu, I heard you, Prabhu. I heard you. Yeah, lust is one thing, envy is one thing, pride is one thing. Anyone else? Okay, Prasad Prabhu, you told right, Prabhu. I didn't accept your answer in the beginning because that will end the contest. That is right, Prabhu. Krishna will accept each and every anartha. Accept each and every anartha. In some or the other way, they can be deployed in the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in devotion. But pride is the one thing which Krishna never accepts. Never. Never he accepts. నాకు డబ్బు ఉంది, నాకు చాలా డబ్బు ఉంది, నేను దేనికైనా ఖర్చు పెట్టగలను. I am the one. No, Prabhu. Krishna will not accept pride. Anything else he can accept, or he will ensure devotees are coming into their life for tackling other anarthas and try to move towards devotion service. But pride is the one which he never accepts, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, some people will have that like, I have wealth, everything is there. Why should I pray to God? Should we consider that as pride?
I'm having everything else. Why to?
I have money, I have all the luxuries of life.
Hmm.
Life is going very smoothly, happily.
Hmm.
Why I should pray to God? Some people will think like that. So is that a pride?
Prabhuji, first of all, if they are not at all, if they are saying that why to pray God, yes, Prabhu, this is also one subtle form of pride only, Prabhu. Yes, it is pride, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Anyone else, Prabhuji? Anyway, the session is over, Prabhuji. So till 8:30 only we thought. So this is the inspiration when most of the coming to all these 6 items, Prabhuji and Madajis. One more question to everyone. How many the weights are there, right? 100. You might have seen 50 grams, 100 grams weights. You might have seen. What is the 100 grams, 50 grams, 100 grams, 250 grams weight? You might have seen. What is the highest weight you have seen? What is the highest weight you have seen in the market or general stores?
10 kgs.
10 kgs, Prabhu? Yes. 10 kgs. Anyone else?
More than also there. I have seen 100 kgs.
100 kgs, Prabhu?
Yes. Seen.
Yeah, Prabhu. Just, Prabhu, I request everyone praying for me, because I have weight more than that 100 kgs also, Prabhu. Pride weight. If pride is put it into kgs, I have more than that. Please pray that it never attacks me, Prabhu. So with that, I end the session, Prabhu. If any questions are there, I will try to answer, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mahesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, nice topic, Prabhuji. But my question, Prabhuji, yeah, if you can answer now, that's fine. But you mentioned out of all these 6, other 5 things, we can convert them into some form of Krishna's devotion or whatever. The pride Krishna cannot accept because the other things can be changed. So can you please elaborate, Prabhuji, those 5, how can we turn? Yes, lust, we can make it
lust, Prabhu. Lust is basically having a desire, Prabhu. Having a desire. The desires, why can't we have a desire of serving Krishna more? Why can't we have a desire of thinking of having, rather than having a materialistic desires, we can have more spiritualistic desires? Why can't we divert our desire to serve Krishna more? There are sometimes, when in Prasadam, when they distribute, sometimes the devotees snatch buckets and try to serve. So we can have desires routed from materialistic world to our spiritualistic activities, Prabhu. Book distribution. Why he is doing more distribution, I will do more distribution. Let us have desire to do more book distribution. So the desire or the lust, generally in general parlance, Prabhu, in material world, lust is more related to having attraction towards opposite sex. But lust is having a desire. And having attraction towards opposite sex is one aspect of it. But lust basically means to have desire. Okay, so that desires we can convert or move towards our spiritual activities. That is lust. And next one is greed. We can have greed. We can have greed in serving Lord also. Well, like Yudhishthira had a greed of winning the war. He also had a greed of winning the war. For why? For serving the Lord. But Duryodhana had a greed to win the war to exploit people. So like that, in our not only about Mahabharata examples, in our devotional life also, we can have a greed to, if we are having enough resources, either through our knowledge or either through our whatever materialistic knowledge, whatever the materialistic knowledge or skills we are developing, we are trying to engage in Krishna service. For example, If you are having knowledge, we might go out and show greed to earn more or exploit more. There is a possibility, but the same greed we can divert. Let me have greed to engage myself in Krishna service, either through taking sessions, or either through taking college preaching, or either through serving prasadam, or either through book distribution. Let us have that greed to have more desire. Greed is nothing but dil mange more. One is satisfied. Let us have the dil mange more attitude in us. No, if you are serving prasadam, serve more prasadam. If you are taking classes, Radhesham Prabhuji is non-stop, 24 hours almost. He is 24 hours giving sessions only. Why can't we have that greed? So that greed we can convert any desire. So greed is nothing but whatever the desire, if fulfilled. If you are overdoing it, that is greed. That's the same thing. You overdo it in Krishna service, no? That greed you can divert like that. Now, illusion is there. Illusion is nothing but whatever I'm doing, whatever is done, it is done by me only. It's me. నేను ఇంత ఆన్ సైట్ వెళ్ళి డబ్బులు పంపించాను, ఊర్లకు పంపించాను, నా పేరెంట్స్ అందరూ అబ్బా పొగుడుతున్నారు, చేస్తున్నారు, నా కొడుకు ఆన్ సైట్ యుఎస్ వెళ్ళి బీభత్సంగా సంపాదించి ఇన్ని పట్టుకొచ్చాడు, ఇన్ని ఫ్లాట్స్ కొన్నాడు, ఇన్ని పంపుతున్నాడు. That's a illusion. That is really an illusion. That, but he is not understanding that whatever the intelligence and skills what we got to earn is given by the Lord. He is not even acknowledging. He is not even having a gratitude towards the Lord. That illusion can be converted by realizing that whatever the earnings I am making, whatever the illusion which I am in, actually in reality, Krishna has been helping him. That consciousness we need to develop. Even illusion also can be converted towards Krishna in this way, by thinking that whatever the illusion you are having that also in some way Krishna is helping. And last one is envy. Envy, I mean, yesterday when I met our Iyer Prabhu, he came to take the Mridanga. And I told him, Prabhuji, I am really envious of you, Prabhuji. At such young age, you got into ISKCON philosophy, and you are doing a lot of service, Prabhu. And he has taken a new initiative of every Dwadasi, he will be going to one location and distributing prasadam or book distribution, and Harinam they would be doing. That's a wonderful initiative he's doing at a very young age. I told him, I'm really envious of you, Prabhu. That at a very young age you are doing it. I told him, Iyer Prabhu, I told her, literally this is the word what I used yesterday with Iyer Prabhu. I don't know if Iyer Prabhu is there in the session or not. I mean, I'm envious of him. But that envy also we can divert it. We can divert it in whatever service we can do. Not with a pride that I am doing it more. No, but in that conscious, probably these are most of the things. It might appear external, Prabhu, but the transformation is something internal, Prabhu. It's more like internal. Outside, you might see a person and might look to us that he's having a lot of pride, but we don't know what exactly is going through inside. But it is the person himself who would be knowing that actually he's having pride or not. So that is an illusion also that can be converted. Envy and everything I covered. But pride is the one which Krishna never accepts. Probably, I don't know, Prabhu, Ram Reddy Prabhu, I answered you or not.
Yes, Prabhuji, you did. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Anyone else, Prabhuji? Okay, I take the silence as no. Lilananda Prabhu, if you have any final conclusion points, please tell Prabhu. Anything is there to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Anandaram Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Prabhu, one question I have is that pride. So sometimes, we feel, at least I sometimes feel that, that I am in Krishna consciousness, the other person is not. Other person is following some other religion or some other line, some other path. Does that tantamount to pride, Prabhu?
Okay, some other, I am in Krishna consciousness, other person is not Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji.
So therefore, I see myself as somebody maybe who's more fortunate. Or I see that, I feel that I'm very fortunate to be in Krishna consciousness. And I see some other people, outside are there who are, following some other religion or some other path, or, who are not able to appreciate it. And but in that inside me, I feel very happy that I am in KC. But I also feel bad that the other person is not. But does that amount to pride?
Prabhuji, it is in a subtle way pride, Prabhuji, but more than pride, Prabhu, the same statement, whatever you quoted, whatever you quoted, that I am happy that I am in Krishna consciousness, other person is following other religion, and what is this? I am very happy. That is the same statement. If you had been compassionate towards him for getting, for him to get correct knowledge, if you are compassionate towards the other person for him to have correct knowledge, I should not say religion, because ultimately whatever the religion he is following, the ultimate aim is to go back home, back to Godhead. And if in his religion, if that goal he is properly following, well and good. But if he is following something else, and if you are having compassionate enough to think about his good and feel inside that Krishna, I pray to you that he should get correct knowledge to achieve his goal, that would have not been pride, Prabhu, but the thinking that I am in Krishna consciousness and I am happy, and he's in altogether a different religion or a different philosophy, he's not happy. That is pride, Prabhu. But the question, I hope you are getting the statement, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, I got it.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, once again I say, Prabhu, it is very subtle and it is something very internal thing to each and every person. And compassionate and pride, there might be a situation in the musugu of compassionate people might be in pride also. Like people, lot of philanthropists, they in front of everyone, they will do a lot of things, but inside, Ayagaru, Dandalaya, Ayagar Mir Gopavaraya. But outside he might be saying, Parledaya, ye to mera farz tha. Ye to mera farz tha. Like that, a lot of movies, they quote dialogue, right? When heroine comes and hero helps, heroine says, you are really very thank you. No, ye to mera farz tha. Externally, it might appear that he is not in pride, but internally, Shabash Raja, he might think. So it's a very subtle thing, Prabhu. Yeah. I don't know if I answered you, Prabhu.
Thank you. No, Prabhu. It was very helpful, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, Lilananda Prabhu, you are there, Prabhu? Yeah, I think he has gone to farm. So, Praveen Prabhu, you wanted to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Yes,
very nice topic, Prabhuji. It's a reiteration of all the things that we should be all very careful with, and because they are, especially I have all the qualities, negative is not positive. And thank you for bringing this up and with examples and the nice story you started with. And then very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mahesh Prabhu.
Oh, you are back. Okay.
No, I never left. I was just, getting ready to go somewhere. Sorry.
Yeah, Prabhu. Any closing comments, Prabhu? And by the way, all this, whatever the session is not my own, my own philosophy I brought in. I took the help of Radhesham Prabhuji sessions, my Guru Maharaj lectures, and Amarendra Prabhu lectures, and Chaitanya Charan Prabhu lectures, and all of them I try to compile and try to bring some additional examples. That's it, Prabhu. Nothing is mine. If anything, there are, I think, some sensitive topics also I touched. I think which might not be appropriate with the platform of devotees what we have, but with good intention only I try to discuss them. I'm sorry if I have hurt someone, Prabhuji and Mataji's. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. It's a reminder for all of us that we have to overcome these anarthas, and we cannot keep serving these anarthas. Very, very grateful that you have taken this session. There's a lot more to discuss for each one of the anartha.
Yes, very much.
Maybe next time we can
elaborate more. Right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
And
Prabhu.
yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dandavat Prabhu. Hare.
Dandavat Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mahesh Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Wonderful
Prabhuji.
class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you,
Wonderful
Prabhuji.
session,
Hare
Prabhu. Thank you very much. Mahesh Prabhu, thank you very much. Wonderful session, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.